The world has never been fair, and the sooner you accept this harsh truth, the sooner you can take control of your life. Right now, somewhere, someone less intelligent than you is commanding more respect. Someone weaker than you is living the life you desire simply because they've mastered the psychology of human behavior. And you weren't taught how the real rules of the world work. You were taught to be good, while others already adopted strategy and cunning long ago. You were also taught that good intentions matter most, when in reality the world prioritizes respect and influence. You try to do the right thing, wait for recognition, while others are already taking what they want. The world rewards those who understand psychological rules and punishes those who remain unaware. Today, I'm going to share 8 psychological principles that will completely transform you. These principles will turn you into someone impossible to ignore, someone who commands respect, and someone no one dares challenge. But here's the warning. Once you see these rules, you'll never see yourself as a victim again. Your mindset will shift. You will stop being the nice guy and become a strategic, confident leader. So get ready. This journey won't be easy, but those who embrace it will gain true control over their lives. The first and most brutal truth is that fairness is a trap, designed to keep you weak. From childhood, we've been taught, be good, be fair, always do the right thing. But in the real world, those who know how to break the rules are the ones who succeed. Every time you wait for fairness, someone else takes what you wanted. Every time you spend time proving you're right, manipulators exploit your predictable behavior. You must understand that the world respects those who think strategically, not those who always try to do the right thing. Machiavelli said, "Men should either be treated generously or destroyed, because they take revenge for slight injuries. For heavy ones, they cannot." This doesn't mean physical violence. It means never ignore small slights and respond decisively to major offenses. Think about the moments in your life when you gave respect to someone who didn't deserve it. When you helped someone who never helped you back. When you waited your turn while others cut in front. This isn't bad luck. It's the result of your mental programming. Being weak or blindly fair makes you easy to manipulate. Real power comes when you learn to act selectively and strategically. Remember this rule. Being good and fair isn't always beneficial. Play the game only with those who understand power. Most people think being ruthless means losing control, lashing out, or dominating others. But true ruthlessness is emotional discipline and strategy. Truly ruthless people don't get angry. They don't react impulsively. They make calculated decisions at the right moment. They don't let their emotions control their actions. Feeling anger, frustration, or disappointment isn't wrong, but these emotions should never dictate your moves. Think about someone publicly embarrassing you or trying to undermine your reputation. An emotionally reactive person argues, defends themselves, and tries to prove they're right. This makes them appear weak and validates the attacker's power. A ruthless, disciplined person first notes the insult, feels the emotion, then asks, what response will be most strategic and powerful in this situation? This response is never impulsive. It's always calculated. They may ignore the person, correct them factually to make them look foolish, or demonstrate superior composure. Machiavelli said, "Injuries should be inflicted all at once, so that their ill savor being less lasting may give less offense." Meaning, when you must act decisively and finally. True psychological power comes when people know your emotions cannot be manipulated. They treat you with respect and caution. Master your emotional responses, and let others react while you respond strategically. The third harsh truth is that being liked is far less important than psychological dominance. Most people want to be liked. They try to please everyone, bending their boundaries to keep others happy. But this makes them predictable and easy targets for manipulative individuals. Psychologically dominant people are different. They are unpredictable and people don't take them lightly. They earn respect whether people like them or not. Think about your social circles. Who commands the most respect? The nicest person or the one who shows strength and presence? Whose opinion matters most? The one who agrees with everyone or the one whose decisions actually influence others? Machiavelli said, It is much safer to be feared than loved if one has to lack one of the two. This doesn't mean you have to intimidate others, but it means people shouldn't underestimate or disrespect you. In practice, likable people say yes to requests they don't want to fulfill, while dominant people say no without guilt. Likable people tolerate disrespect and hope it stops, while dominant people act decisively. Likable people try to be included everywhere, while dominant people are selective and assert their value. This is a profound mindset shift. The question is no longer will they like me, but will this action increase or decrease my social power? Focus on earning respect, not seeking approval. Demonstrate dominance through presence and clear boundaries. Most people destroy their influence because they make weak and repetitive moves. They try to control others with multiple warnings, light threats, or constant emotional manipulation, which only damages their credibility. Psychologically weak individuals issue threats that are ignored. They rely on nagging, pleading, and emotional tactics, which creates a terrible reputation and signals that their threats are empty. Psychologically dominant people do the opposite. They issue fewer warnings, but when they act, their actions are decisive and unforgettable. Machiavelli said, "If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared." Meaning, when you act, make it so clear and final that no one dares to challenge you again. Think about someone in your social circle who constantly disrespects you. A weak response would involve repeated requests, frustration, or complaining to others. This actually empowers them because they exploit your emotional reaction. A psychologically dominant response involves documenting the pattern and taking one powerful, decisive action. You may publicly embarrass them or demonstrate your social power in a way that others align with you. The key to this principle is that action must be proportionate but disproportionate in impact. Fewer but powerful moves create psychological superiority, making people take you seriously and strengthening your reputation. The most sophisticated psychological principle is that what people perceive about you becomes your reality. Most people work hard, stay honest, and assume others will naturally recognize their value. This is naive. Human psychology doesn't work that way. People rarely investigate someone's character in depth. They make snap judgments based on surface signals and social proof. If you don't actively manage your perception, someone else will create a narrative about you, and it won't be in your favor. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. For the majority, your image is your reality. Your reputation is your most powerful asset." Psychologically sophisticated people understand this and carefully craft their image. This is not about being fake. It's about strategic presentation. Take social media as a perfect example. Two people achieve the same success. One strategically showcases competence and achievements, the other stays silent. Who gains more recognition and opportunities? The one who manages perception. In practice, perception management means communicating value through body language, voice tone, clothing, and social confidence. Confident posture, direct eye contact, and authoritative speech make people unconsciously categorize you as important. Slouching, hesitant tone, and avoiding eye contact lead to being dismissed. Learn to control the narrative in your social environment. Strategically highlight your achievements, strengths, and valuable connections. Don't overexpose failures or weaknesses. Project confidence even when uncertain. Remember, perception is reality, and your reputation is your most valuable asset. The sixth and perhaps most powerful principle is that it's not just what happens, but how it is interpreted that determines ultimate power. Every situation can be framed in multiple ways. The same action can appear as leadership or arrogance, confidence or selfishness, strength or aggression. The person who controls the narrative controls the meaning. Most people focus only on their actions and ignore how those actions are perceived. This is a huge mistake. In human psychology, the story often matters more than the facts. Think about any conflict you've witnessed. The person who presents their version first and most persuasively usually wins, regardless of who is actually right. Machiavelli said, "Men in general judge more from appearances than from reality." People don't have time to investigate every situation thoroughly. They rely on the simplified story they hear from trusted sources. Whoever controls that story controls what people believe. This means you must learn to frame your actions in ways that serve your interests. Practically, narrative control means framing difficult or unpopular decisions in terms of principles and long-term thinking, not immediate self-interest. When someone attacks you, don't just defend. Reframe the attack as evidence of their weakness or jealousy. When you achieve something significant, present it to highlight your strategic thinking and character, not just luck or natural talent. Advanced narrative control also involves anticipating how your actions will be interpreted and taking proactive steps to prevent negative perceptions. Always consider not just what you do, but how people will perceive and discuss your actions. The seventh principle shows that the most sophisticated form of influence doesn't rely on emotion, threats, or manipulation, but on predictable systems where certain behaviors automatically lead to specific outcomes. This is psychological mastery because it removes personality from the equation. People can argue with personal decisions, but cannot argue with automatic consequences. When your authority is based on anger or threats, others can manipulate your emotions. But when you create systems where respect leads to access and disrespect leads to exclusion, you maintain complete psychological control. Machiavelli said, "A wise ruler should rely on what is in his own control, not on what is in the control of others." Practically, this means rewarding people whose behavior aligns with your value and limiting access to those who waste your efforts. For example, if friends repeatedly arrive late or cancel plans, an emotionally reactive approach would show frustration. A systematically authoritative approach is to plan only for those who confirm attendance and show up on time. There's no need to announce it as a threat or punishment. It becomes a natural system. The biggest advantage of systematic authority is that it is self-maintaining. You don't need to constantly enforce rules. Natural consequences teach people how to treat you. Those who respect you gain more access. Those who waste your time get less. This creates psychological authority and continuously strengthens your power. The eighth and final principle is that true psychological dominance often operates in silence. People who constantly talk about how smart, tough, or ruthless they are often not. They are advertising what they wish they possessed. Real power doesn't announce itself. Real influence is shown through results. The most psychologically powerful people are often the quietest. They observe while others perform. They calculate while others react. They position strategically while others posturize. Think about the people you've seen with real psychological power. Do they constantly remind you of their power? Do they brag or threaten? No, their power is assumed, not announced. Their influence is demonstrated through results, not declarations. Machiavelli said, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." This means you must be strategically intelligent and psychologically forceful depending on the situation. The key is a seamless transition between modes without revealing your strategy. Practically, this means competitors don't see your moves until it's too late to counter. Allies don't know how you are positioning them until they benefit. Enemies don't realize you are undermining them until their influence has already crumbled. This isn't being sneaky or dishonest. It's strategic discretion. In silent dominance, people feel your power without understanding how you acquired it. Influence feels natural and inevitable, not aggressive or calculated. Learn silent dominance. Build your psychological empire quietly. Demonstrate power through results, not announcements.